What's up? What's happening? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Anime Station. This is your favorite theme with animation, including a sponge lives in the pineapple under the sea. I am your host, Jackson Small. Welcome to yet another SpongeBob Chapter 5 review. And the last one for today, the one that's actually scheduled for today. Because, like I said in the last video, I ended up taking yesterday off of SpongeBob to catch up on movies that I needed to watch. That came out either last month or very early this month. So, let's dive straight into today's episode reviews because we have two good ones today. Well, a really good one and an amazing episode that I'm sure you guys have been waiting for me to talk about. So, for today's review, we are looking at New Digs and Krabs a la Mode, one of the highest praised episodes, once again, of modern SpongeBob. And I have quite a bit of praise to throw at that one. But we gotta review both of them, even though we already know which one wins. So let's not waste any more time and dive straight into New Digs. So, is this episode great? No, but I will say that it is really good, and I do think that it is quite funny. So we're going to talk about it anyway. So, in this episode of SpongeBob Season 5, in order to avoid being tardy one more day when he goes to work, SpongeBob decides to move into the Krusty Krab. Like, he literally brings all his home stuff over there. And at first it seems like a pretty good arrangement. He even agrees to pay Mr. Krabs' rent. It's Mr. Krabs. I'm not surprised he pulled that. But it soon gets out of control when Krabs and Squidward start seeing what SpongeBob's doing to the place, and driving away customers in the process. So, this episode, it does have a pretty simple premise, just SpongeBob moving into the Krusty Krab to avoid being tardy after having one really bad day where he was a few seconds late to work. And they do get pretty creative with some of the things that he does, like he hangs a clothesline out the window in between the kitchen and the register. He puts the bed in Mr. Krabs' office. He puts this TV in the kitchen for Gary to watch while he's cooking. Like, they get really creative with some of the stuff that they do here. And my highlight of the episode, it's gotta be when Squidward realizes that SpongeBob isn't living over there next to him anymore, and he has an imaginary vision that he is, doing the snowman angel thing in a field of flowers, but he's actually doing it in a pile of dirty pots and pans. I'm not gonna lie, that got a really good laugh out of me. And then the ending's also pretty good too. It's not a highlight, but I want to talk about it. It's when it turns out that SpongeBob is having his parents move into the place. Already a bad idea. And it gets even crazier, because then he turns Mr. Krabs' office into a private shower for his mom. And Mr. Krabs gets angry about the curtains, rips them down, sees Mrs. SquarePants trying to shower, and then Mr. SquarePants steps in and gives him a walloping. And then he kicks SpongeBob out of the Krusty Krab, knowing that he went too far. And Squidward ends the episode by him moving into the Krusty Krab just to stay away from SpongeBob. Like, it's so funny. Like, it has no business being funny. It has no friggin' business being this funny. So, why isn't it a great episode, you may be asking, if I have all this great praise to throw at it? Well, it's a pacing problem. The second act takes way too long. Like, way too long. And then that leaves less time for the third act, which leads it to feel a bit rushed. Even though, like I said, I do really like the ending. And I just really like this episode. I think it's a really good one. It's pretty underrated. Unfortunately, not many people talk about it, which is a bummer. Because it's a really entertaining, funny, quirky episode of SpongeBob. I've always really enjoyed this one, and I will never really understand why some people just don't talk about it. I mean, is it like one of the greatest episodes of the entire series? Absolutely not. But it is a really fun time, and if you haven't watched it yet, you need to check it out. Final verdict for New Digs is a high 7 out of 10. Like, if it weren't for the pacing problems, it'd probably be an 8. But Nope, it's got pacing problems, and it does hold it back. But outside of that, it is a pretty good episode, and I highly recommend you check it out if you haven't already. But it is nothing compared to the episode we have to review next, which many people consider one of the best in post-movie SpongeBob. So, let's not waste any time and get to the episode that you guys are more than likely waiting for me to talk about. Krabs a la mode. I mean, what is there to really say about Krabs a la mode that hasn't already been said by a dozen other people? From Mysterious Mr. Enter to Gem Reviews to Phantom Strider, everyone has praised this episode endlessly ever since it came out. And I can definitely see why, because it's one of my favorites too. It is a fantastic episode with an incredible concept, and it's arguably the best Krabs vs. Plankton episode since Imitation Krabs. It is creative, it is funny, it is fast-paced, and it is extremely enjoyable. So, let's not waste any more time and talk about this truly magnificent episode of SpongeBob. So, in this episode, in a scheme to try and steal the Krabby Patty formula, Plankton decides to freeze the Krusty Krab by messing with Mr. Krabs' thermostat. And at first, it looks like it's working. The entire Krusty Krab is frozen solid, and Squidward and SpongeBob can't keep their footing. But, thanks to the creativity of Mr. Krabs and, of course, SpongeBob, they turn it into an ice rink instead, selling frozen patties as skates as well as food, and SpongeBob skates around the Krusty Krab to give everyone their meals. Immediately they turn it into something good. And heck, it even gets so good that the local hockey team of Bikini Bottom decides to use the Krusty Krab's frozen facade as a place to practice, and they use a frozen Krabby Patty as a puck. This leads Mr. Krabs to make a lot of money, of course, as you'd expect. And in the chaos, Plankton tries to steal a Krabby Patty, but stupidly, he chose the one that they were using as a puck. So, he gets whacked around the Krusty Krab for a while, then he hijacks the Zamboni that Krabs was also using to give kids kids rides around the Krusty Krab's frozen floor for $1. Again, another way he's making a lot of money. And Plankton almost gets out, but the problem is there's a million bodies in the way. So he gets blocked from using the door, then he reveals that he did touch Mr. Krabs' thermostat, and then he plays around with it, and ends up freezing everybody. And right then and there, he could have won. Stole that Krabby Patty formula and walked out. But no, staying in character, he got extremely cocky, and instead, he does himself in by freezing and unfreezing them a million times until he goes flying off the knob, and he ends up the one being frozen. And the episode ends with Mr. Krabs turning the Krusty Krab now into a swimming pool, and Plankton as one of the ice cubes in his lemonade. What a fun ending, bro. What a fun episode. Seriously, this episode only gets better every time I watch it, in all honesty. It is so funny, it is so memorable, it is so creative, it is so unique, and it is just so much fun to watch. Every single time I watch this episode, it puts a smile on my face. Every single time. In fact, I have 3 highlights to talk about with this one. And I kind of already spoiled the first one, but let's talk about it anyway. It's the beginning bit. When Mr. Krabs realizes someone touched his thermostat, he literally slams down his own office door, and he goes, "Who touched my thermostat?" And everyone immediately rats out Squidward. That part is so funny. That part always makes me laugh. There's a reason it became a meme. Then the second highlight of the episode is a little later on when they first enter the frozen Krusty Krab. and you have the little dialogue between Squidward and Krabs. There's icicles hanging from the ceiling. I don't care if Santa Claus and Jack Frost are having ice cream cones. No one touches me thermostat! And he yells so much that causes icicles to fall from the ceiling of the Krusty Krab. And trying to get away, Squidward uses SpongeBob as a human shield to try and avoid getting skewered by icicles. Oh, that part's so funny. Also, honorable mention to Patrick doing the A Christmas Story thing by sticking his tongue to a frozen pole. Like, awesome way to throw in that reference. And then, my final highlight is the ending. It's gotta be the ending. It is so funny and ridiculous that you just have to watch it for yourself. And with the hockey team getting involved, and the way that they not only smack around Plankton, who's still on this Krabby Patty puck, but they also give SpongeBob a few good whackings too. Like, it is so funny. It has no business being so funny, but it works and it is amazing. Honestly, it reminded me a lot of Pre-Movie at times. It was that funny. So, yeah, I mean, Final Verdict's a 10. 10 out of 10. We all know it. You know it. I know it. We all know it. It's one of the best episodes of post-movie SpongeBob, and it's only gotten better every time I see it. Is it as good as Spy Buddies? You could kind of flip a coin, but honestly, awesome episode. I love this one. You love this one. We all love this one. And it's only gotten better with age. Love this episode so much. And, oh, it's a perfect episode to watch around winter and Christmas, too. Almost forgot. Can't forget that little detail. Well, that was a pretty long episode review, right? How about we finish this off with final thoughts and rankings, even though, I mean, we kind of already know which one wins this one, but whatever, let's do it anyway. For fun. Well, this was a pretty fun double feature, I gotta say. Yes, we all know which one wins ranking-wise already, but this was still a really fun double feature, and after some of the crap ones we had to go through, yeah, this one was much needed. And it only reminded me how much I really enjoy both of these episodes. They're both entertaining, they're both enjoyable, and I highly recommend them both. Coming in second place, predictably, but not in shame, is New Digs. It is a fun, underrated episode of SpongeBob that I wish more people talked about. And then number one, I mean, come on, it's Krabs a la Mode. You know it, I know it, we all know it. It is one of the best episodes of post-movie SpongeBob, and while I can't say it's better than Spy Buddies, it is a very close second. It is a fantastic episode that's only gotten better with its age, and I will be rewatching this one every single winter and holiday season for many, many years to come. What an awesome episode. And that is going to be it. So thank you guys so much for watching this review. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos like this almost every single day. And stay tuned because our next double feature for tomorrow is a pretty good one too. Yeah, we're starting to get back into the really good stuff. Thankfully. So, I will see you guys next time when we talk about the criminally underrated Roller Cowards and the decent and cute Bucket Sweet Bucket. So, until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next review.
We cannot take it anymore. The time is going. We're ready for